based on what you've read. Do you go home and worry about things?
I think one of the dangers, if you are a comedian, which basically I am, if you start to take yourself too seriously and start to comment on social issues, your sense of humor suffers somewhere.
Who can't you tease and make jokes about?
Mother Teresa's a bad subject.
I would think so.
You don't get big laughs from Mother Teresa.
When you really have a very difficult day, or even without being corny, if your heart is broken, you know, and you've got to then go out there and be funny. How do you do it?
If you're going to entertain and you have to go on a stage or in front of a television camera, you have to set aside, for the moment, what's happening personally. Sure, there are times you have a lot of things on your mind, but strangely enough, once you get out there and it starts to roll and the audience reacts and you get the laughs, you set everything aside.
It was a dance that he did with the audience.
Yeah.
It's a connection that he always had.
And we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to gather around the water cooler. We each have favorite moments. We'll be back.
Hey, Bob. Yeah, have you disinfected the area? Good. Now make a 3-inch incision between the 4th and 5th abdominal muscles.
Shouldn't you be doing this?
It's really straightforward. Listen, I gotta go, Bob. I'll talk to you later.
Making important financial decisions on your own doesn't make much sense either. That's why Edward Jones prefers meeting clients face-to-face, so they can get the attention they deserve. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
St. Joseph aspirin only comes in 81 milligrams, the dose doctors recommend most to help prevent a heart attack. Be sure to talk to your doctor. St. Joseph, America's original for the heart.
Beauty is ageless. My secret?
New Age Perfect Double Action. It's more than just a moisturizer. 1, with Elastium decrinkles skin surface. 2, with pure vitamin C illuminates skin.
It's smoother and decrinkled.
New Age Perfect Double Action treatment from L'Oreal Paris.
This is amazing.
Perfect.
Check out the view.
G'day. My volleyball team used all the towels. Can I come over and borrow one of yours?
Sure.
Hey, Janet, there's donuts in the conference room.
Great.
Yeah.
Create your next trip on Expedia with virtual hotel tours and the most travel options anywhere.
Expedia.com.
Just when I get settled into a nice chest, I get thrown out by this guy.
Mucinex breaks up mucus that causes congestion, so you can get rid of it. And just one pill lasts up to 12 hours.
Don't push, I'm going.
Mucinex in, mucus out.
You know how when you buy a pair of glasses, you feel like you're stuck with them? Not at LensCrafters. They have an unconditional guarantee. If I simply change my mind, I can simply change my glasses or get my money back. That's a nice break from the norm.
And now get 50% off all lenses. That's every type of lens. LensCrafters. You'll see, we're better.
It's a virus that has no cure and is highly contagious, affecting infants and young children. Tonight at 10, the risk factors, the symptoms, and how to help protect your child from getting the winter virus called RSV. It's what's going around, and it's on the Nightbeat at 10.
You know, getting a great deal on a new Chevy car or truck used to be as hard as this 7-10 split. But at ValMark Chevrolet, yes, we make it easy.
ValMark Chevrolet, the dealer who can give you the lowest payments on the vehicle you want the most. Like a new 05 Chevy Malibu for just $199 a month. Power windows and locks, CD player, and more. Just $199 a month at ValMark Chevrolet, I-35 exit Walnut in New Braunfels. The dealer who can.
An all-new Oprah. 3 years ago, he walked off the stage. Now, singer Ricky Martin is on an urgent mission. Our cameras follow him inside the tsunami zone. Next, Oprah.
Today at 4. Around the water cooler this morning, Johnny Carson. And do you know that you were sitting with a stand-up?
Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a guy
used
who
to
did
do
it for a
comedy.
living.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you analyzed one of the most famous moments ever.
Yeah, you know, this is tough. Johnny Carson, I think, was the greatest television personality of all time. I loved the man, never met him, loved him. And we've seen the tomahawk throw. I think there's so many wonderful moments from his show, but part of his comic genius, if you watch this, Ed Ames throws the tomahawk. Johnny knows what comic gold this is, and Ed Ames goes to remove the tomahawk. Watch Johnny put his hand on his arm, stop him because he's milking the laugh. He starts to kind of work with his little props there because he knows I've got a line coming. Let's let the audience continue to laugh. Biggest laugh ever in live TV history. And then he delivers a classic line. I mean, seconds go by here before he delivers his line. Let's listen. He's still milking it.
I didn't even know you were Jewish.
It's 1965, 3 years in. He did it for 30 years. Right there, you see the comic brilliance of the man. It's just incredible.
All the anticipation came up.
Great
And we
host.
saw the Don Rickles bathhouse scene.
Yeah.
What television person would have the confidence
Yeah.
to do a shirtless sketch?
Yeah.
You know?
We're going to
It
miss
was
him.
Absolutely cool.
It's true. Great to have a play-by-play. A comedian's play-by-play. We'll be back. Coming up on Good Morning America, fighting back when you're alone in a parking lot, self-defense tips that could save your life. Important information after the deadly kidnapping at Walmart. And GMA's career camp. Want a new job? Stick.
This is Good Morning America with Charles Gibson and Diane Sawyer.
And good morning to all of you. Good morning. How are you? Hearty souls out here with us. Thank you so much on our cold Monday here. It's
As
good
we
to
huddle
have you.
together.
Right, that's right. We're just fine, really. We're fine. I'm Diane Sawyer. Welcome back.
Yeah, don't do this at home, folks. Stay inside. I'm Robin Robertson for Charlie Gibson on this Monday, January 24th, 2005.
And coming up in this half hour, we saw the abduction videotape, the surveillance tape at Walmart. And we thought it might be good for everyone. If we set some experts down and talk to them about tips that you might want to know, if you have to shop late at night, if you have to be in a parking lot like this late at night, what can you do to protect yourself? That's coming up.
And also, we're going to kick off a new series that will make you good to go to work. We have some top female CEOs that are here, some experts, and you know how nerve-wracking that job interview can be? Well, we're going to give you some tips so you can get that new job that you want, or maybe that raise you think you deserve.
That's right, and you know the interview can be make or break,
Yes.
so that's coming up too. But all morning long we've been talking about Johnny Carson, and we're out here on the street, and we thought it would be great to let some people on the street also pay their tribute to him, all of us who watched him between our toes so late at night. So here are some more favorite moments of our favorite television person.
Oh, he was just such a classic, wasn't he?
Doc, on your chair. On your
It was always the animals. I mean, for me, it was everything that he did with the animals.
These are fruit eaters, so they find the fruit with their sight and also sense of smell.
That's the memory. He'd hold the cards up on his forehead and do that guessing game.
Piggly Wiggly. Piggly Wiggly. Describe Kermit's wedding night.
My parents were always sitting in front of the TV laughing. So whenever I would walk into the room, I'd be like, oh, Johnny Carson's on.
I know when your birthday is.
You know when my birthday is?
Yes.
When?
October 23rd, 1925.
His facial expressions, priceless.
No, nobody can replicate that.
No.
Deadpan. Anyway, let's head up to Bill Weir now for the news again.
Diane, good morning. Good morning to you all. Much of the Northeast will try to get going again after being battered by a massive blizzard. ABC News national weather correspondent David Muir is in Manhattan with the latest. Good morning, David.
Morning to you, Bill. You know, long after the storm tracked out to sea, it's the airports throughout the Northeast that are still trying to get back on track. For drivers, it's not the roads. They are back on the roadways this morning. It's likely they're aching backs, though, after trying to dig out their cars in time for this morning.
New York is still cleaning up for more than a foot of snow. This is just one of 6 cars Jim Tornicello shoveled out. There was a lot of work long before the work week begins this morning.
I went into work in Queens this morning. I had to dig out there, and then I had to come home and finish digging out.
Others weren't convinced they'd get it done in time to get to work.
I'm just hoping that somebody has the mercy with a plow to come by and plow me out.
With the cold temperatures, the snow isn't going anywhere anytime soon. In Newark, New Jersey, blowing snow will still be a problem even after a major effort there.
So far, we've used 15,000 tons of salt.
And the snow brought tragedy to this New York street, where a 10-year-old girl playing on a snowbank was hit and killed by a snowplow. To the north in Massachusetts, state workers in the eastern part of the state have been told to stay home this morning after more than 2 feet of snow in some parts. And in the New York area, more than 900 flights were canceled at LaGuardia, JFK, and Newark airports.
You can see they're still shoveling out here in New York City this morning, likely shoveling throughout New England, where in parts they had up to 3 feet of snow. Boston's Logan Airport is scheduled to reopen this morning. Bill?
David Muir, thanks very much. It was the deadliest day for the New York Fire Department since September 11th. 3 firefighters were killed battling flames in the bitter cold and snow Sunday. 1 died in a 2-alarm fire in Brooklyn. 2 others were killed in the Bronx, forced to jump from the 4th floor of an apartment building in flames. The U.S. is reportedly preparing to increase the reward for information leading to the capture of Osama bin Laden. According to Time magazine, the reward will be doubled to $50 million next month. And in Iraq, Peter Jennings is on assignment, reporting on how things stand leading up to the historic elections, now just 6 days away. A convicted sex offender wanted in connection with kidnapping an 11-year-old boy is in police custody. Police say Frederick Fretz was arrested yesterday after he was spotted hitchhiking in Georgia. The child was found safe on Friday after he was allegedly abducted 4 days earlier. Fretz had been living with the boy and his father. Tucson police are defending what some call an excessive use of pepper spray to subdue a suspect. In this dramatic video, this man was shot at least 40 times with non-lethal pepper bullets for allegedly resisting arrest during an altercation at a restaurant. And the road trip comedy Are We There Yet? Drove into first place at the box office. The movie, which stars Ice Cube, earned $18.5 million. Last week's #1, Coach Carter, slipped to second. And the blockbuster comedy Meet the Fockers was third. That is a look at your headlines at 8:06. Let's go to Tony Perkins with your weather. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Bill. Good morning, everyone. Hello. Thank you very much. Thank you. Snowed in, send money, and clean socks. I can think of more important things, but whatever floats your boat. Let's take a look at what's happening with the weather around the nation. Here we go, the national map for today. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, not a lot happening on this map. That's good, because since we had such an active weekend. This will be the calm before the storm, though. We'll show you in the next weathercast what's going to be coming our way in the west. The big story this week will be another western storm. Mild conditions in portions of the midsection of the nation. It'll be cold in the east, frigid in the northeast. High temperatures for today, St. Louis 50, Omaha 47, only in the 20s yesterday there. Phoenix 70 degrees, in Seattle you're looking for 55. That's a look at what's happening with the weather around the nation. Now here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
Mid-level clouds streaming in throughout the day today. I think we'll see more clouds than sun, but again, there'll be high clouds for the most part. Moisture off to our west is really not even reaching the ground right now. Mostly cloudy skies today, maybe some sprinkles to the west, a high of about 60 degrees tonight. We go down to 47, mostly cloudy with some fog developing late into tomorrow morning. Then decreasing clouds for your Tuesday and a high near 76 degrees. Next 5 days, there is a chance of rain as we go into the end of the week for Thursday and Friday.
And it is 7 minutes after the hour now. One more look at weather is coming up. Robin, back to you.
All right, Tony, now to the fallout from a story we reported earlier. You've seen the video of the abduction of a young woman from a Walmart parking lot in Texas. She was later found murdered. There are nearly 28,000 people abducted each year, and this latest case is raising new questions about how women can protect themselves. Here with answers are 2 self-defense experts who have joined us before, Diane Ducharme and her husband Seth Ducharme. And thank you both for being here again with us. So important. Seth, when Many of us see that video, and Megan is walking into the dark parking lot, and as women, it's something that goes through our head when we're in that kind of situation, and you think there are some real danger zones for women, danger areas.
Absolutely. Understanding your environment and how it affects your safety is critically important. We call certain situations or places danger spots or choke points, and these are places where you'll be predictably and necessarily delayed. Example would be taking your keys out before you get in your car, loading groceries in your car, something like that. You can't avoid these situations, but you need to be particularly alert, and you need to move through those situations quickly.
When you all have been with us before, you always talk about trust your gut. As women, you kind of go with your gut. So if you do that and you feel someone wants to do you harm, I know that you say verbally challenge them. That's your first attack?
Well, verbalization is excellent, especially in those in-between areas where you're not sure, you're being approached by someone. Verbalization accomplishes a couple of things. A verbal challenge will reveal the intent of the person. If you shout, "Stay back," and someone doesn't, then you can be pretty sure the fight is on. Also, verbalization attracts attention, which is always good. And you can even use it to disguise a strategy we call deceive and flee. For example, I might shout past you, "Hey guys, wait up, I forgot my bag," and run in that direction. That might confuse your plan, and it gives me an excuse to run away.
I love how you both have always said, you know, be the aggressor. I mean, even if you're in a situation like that, you be the one to be the aggressor. But Diane, what in the case of Megan Holden, he had a gun. What do you do in that situation?
Well, the gun is just another part of the environment that you need to deal with, and you still need to have committed action. You want to put yourself in a better position. By allowing the abduction to happen, you're going from a bad situation to a much worse situation. So some things that you can do if somebody has a gun. If he has the gun, I can deflect the gun, I can drive my fingers into his eyes, hit his hip socket, and let's say I have someplace safe to run to, like she had the Walmart was right there. You can run now into the Walmart, and now I've affected his vision, and I've affected his balance and his ability to stand. If I don't have someplace safe to run to, I can do the same thing except with that committed action. So I deflect the gun, I drive my fingers into his eyes, and I continue my attack, and I give him overwhelming resistance. Now, you know, if you have some more training, with more training, you can even get yourself out of situations that seem impossible, like this. Bam, bam, bam.
That's with more training in that. How about whistles, mace, any kind of objects that women can have?
You have to make sure that whatever kind of tool you have is safe and legal to use in your state. And we just suggest to have some training so you can become proficient in using whatever tool you decide to use.
And I know a lot of women are looking over there and say, you know, that looks great. Wish I could do what you just did to your husband, but I don't know how to do that. So what is the bit of advice for that person if they find themselves, Diane, in a situation where harm could be coming their way?
Have a plan. Think about what you would do if something was to happen to you, so that you rehearse in your mind over and over again. What would I do if I'm in a parking lot and some guy came up from me from behind? And if you rehearse over and over again, then you'll be able to have that committed action if you ever find yourself in that awful situation.
Thank you for those words of advice, and I love how you looked right into the eyes of our audience members like that and told them that. Diane and Seth, thank you. Always appreciate when you come by and pass along that advice to us. Coming up next, our new series aimed at getting you good to go to work. Some of America's biggest female CEOs unlock the secrets to success in that always frightening job interview. Come on back.
I just want to get home.
Good morning, Sears family.
Hey, Dad.
The air quality is cleaner than most hospital rooms.
This is great.
See the world, my friend.
You're great.
So, do you like your room?
I love it. This is incredible.
Performance and handling like a car. All-wheel drive capability like an SUV. The totally new Ford Freestyle. One vehicle, endless possibilities. Ford, built for the road ahead.
Vitality. We've still got it.
Chester too, and he's no kidding. We're not just living longer, we're living smarter.
And we're feeding Chester something just for him. I learned about Purina Cat Chow Vitality Formula.
It's ideal for cats 7 and older. It's helping Chester stay healthy and active as he ages with age-essential nutrition. Easily digestible ingredients and a taste he loves.
Physical, emotional, complete. That's the Purina Cat Chow way of life.
Vitality. It just runs in the family.
Before, if I was feeling achy and I couldn't sleep, I'd watch TV or eat leftovers. I just wasn't the kind of person who took a sleeping pill, and I didn't like the idea of becoming one. But then I heard about something that would help the pain and help me sleep, but without my becoming dependent.
Tylenol PM is non-habit forming, relieves your pain, and helps you sleep, so you feel refreshed the next day.
If you fancy something sugar-free, red raspberry can be elegant, orange, cheerful, and strawberry, comfy. With Smuckers Sugar-Free, the finest fruit picked at the peak of perfection. A harvest of sugar-free sweet goodness for the many moods of you. So what are you in the mood for? For over 100 years, with a name like Smuckers, it has to be good.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Well, you gotta touch it. That's why there's Purell, because germs can cause illness. So when there's no soap and water, reach for Purell. It kills 99.99% of germs in seconds.
They can't touch. You can't touch this.
You can touch, then Purell.
Uncomfortable around fish? Try Vandekamp's fish sticks. Always perfectly prepared. Vandekamp's. Get comfortable with fish.
The best thing you can do in an interview is find a way to get the interviewer to talk about himself. People always enjoy a conversation more when they're talking about themselves.
I think one of the things that always amazed me is how few people actually do homework before an interview. And a little homework goes a really long way.
The thing that I value the most is honesty. So I think it's always nice if you go for an interview to be as honest as you can and to know how to express yourself.
First of all, arrive on time. Second of all, take a few breaths before you walk in the door. Make sure that you at least appear calm on the outside. Number 3, always look the person in the eye. Don't forget to smile and tell the truth. And be who you are.
As we know, an interview is crucial if you want to get a job or a better job or even a raise in the job you have. And those are some of the country's leading female CEOs with their tips on how to nail the crucial interview. More than 20%, by the way, of America's CEOs are now women. And now that the job market is improving, we're launching a new series, Good to Go to Work, how to succeed in the job of your dreams. And we've got some candidates who want to ace their interviews.
The job interview, those moments when it feels you're on the stage and everything you say, everything you do will make or break you. We decided to give these two women a bit of career boot camp. Just 24 hours before their real job interviews, we put them through some mock interviews.
Good to meet you too. Hi, Aditha.
Tori Johnson of WomenForHire.com asked them the tough questions.
Do you become flustered easily?
Yeah, I do.
What do you do in those situations?
I try to cover it sometimes, just try to be funny.
Then our job squad assembled to scrutinize every minute of tape. Tori Johnson, workplace expert Steve Viscusi, and Stern Business School recruiting director Lizette Hernandez.
So the appropriate answer is that yes, that happens from time to time, but also an opportunity to discuss how you deal with difficult situations.
The way to do it, Aditha, is when you go home tonight to practice. Practice with your friends, practice with your family.
Marjorie made the major mistake of not doing her homework on the company before.
This position is for a magazine. Have you looked at that magazine?
I have actually not looked at the particular magazine, I have to be honest.
I would have anticipated that you would have told me that you had seen the magazine, but that's the benefit of a mock interview. And certainly for the real thing, you'll have picked up a copy of that magazine.
Armed with advice and encouragement from the Job Squad, we sent them off to real job interviews. Did the experts' expertise make the difference?
Yes, and we're going to let you know about those real job interviews later. But we're joined by Tori Johnson, who is the author of Women for Hire, and as we said, CEO of WomenForHire.com. And it's great to have you here. Thanks for all the help there.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's hit the highlights. If you're going in for this crucial interview, you say the first thing to do, tailor-make your resume. Don't just do your standard resume. What do you mean?
That's right. So often I hear from women, I've applied for hundreds of jobs online and I'm not getting any phone calls. And typically, it's better to use a targeted approach. Send out fewer resumes, but make sure that they are really geared for that particular job.
So stress technology, if
yes.
it's technology?
One size doesn't fit all. So you really want to use keywords that are pertinent to that industry. Focus on transferable skills that are really applicable to the job you're applying for.
And research the company so you can incorporate it into your resume even.
Absolutely, absolutely. You want to be able to show that company that you intended to apply for this particular job.
Okay, you have said that in going in for the interview, preparing is everything. And preparing, for instance, for the negative question, the tough question. Let me ask you what that means, though. If you were fired, if you were laid off, and someone says, were you fired? Why? How do you handle that?
If you were fired, the only answer is an honest answer. And you have to explain the circumstances regarding your termination. Sometimes you were fired because there was an entire department that was eliminated. Other times, perhaps, there was a personality difficulty. The truth is, employers are able to verify that type of information. So you want to put as positive a spin on it, but you still can't lie.
Okay, next thing you say is prepare, prepare, prepare.
That's right.
And I'm sort of surprised, by the way, a lot of kids come in to see me to talk about getting jobs, too.
Sure.
And I'm amazed how few of them
have watched the
shows they want to work on.
That's right. It's not only watching the show, your bio is available online. I can Google the person that I'm going to meet with and see if anything pops up about that person. I talk to so many recruiters for retailers, and they'll tell me that the person they're interviewing has never stepped into their store, even though it's such an easy thing to do. It happens all the time. If the company has a product or service that you can try, go ahead, give it a try. The more you can talk in an interview about your experience as a consumer with that company or as a potential client of that company, it gives you a broader perspective as a potential employee.
Another piece of advice you say is take this seriously enough to get someone to help you and give you feedback.
Feedback is invaluable.
Even do a mock interview.
Do a mock interview. There's so many resources available online, bookstores, where you can come up with a list of potential questions. You want someone first to review your resume and say to that person, based on this document that you're reading, what job do you think that I'm capable of doing? What job do you think that I'm applying for? And so often I'll look at a resume and I'll say, I think you're interested in technology. And they say, no, really, I want to be in marketing. And there's nothing in that resume to indicate it except what's in their own mind. What's in your mind has to be on that resume. You also want to rehearse interview questions, especially some of the tougher questions. I know one of the biggest is tell me about your weaknesses. And in the tape piece we saw, even a question about, do you become flustered easily? Tell me about a weakness is a question that everybody is going to be asked. And the key in that area is to take that weakness, turn it into a positive.
All right, we're going to talk more about how to do that later because, first of all, you can get more advice from Tori at gma.abcnews.com. But we are going to revisit those people and see, did they get the job when they went in for the interview?